Jeff Jarvis. I head the Tao Knight Center for Entrepreneurial Journalism at the City University of New York Graduate School of Journalism. I'm very fortunate. I teach at a school that's only 10 years old, but it's quite independent, and so we've been able to change our curriculum constantly, which is necessary. We hear from other journalism schools that it can take them 3 years to get one new course approved. We got an entirely new degree in social journalism approved in 9 months. Journalism is changing rapidly. It has to change faster. Journalism schools need to change even faster because they should be the ones who are experimenting and leading the way. Too often I think journalism schools are behind and just trying to answer yesterday's job needs. So we're also studying what the job needs are in the marketplace today. There's all kinds of new jobs out there: product management, audience development, commerce, all kinds of jobs that didn't exist not very long ago at all. And so we as journalism schools have to change constantly and figure out what to do. We learned when we started the school 10 years ago that it was foolish to have students pick one medium, TV or online or print. We realized quickly all students have to learn all media. We've got to turn them, as one of my students said, into 8-armed monsters who can do anything. And journalism schools have to be able to prepare students for change, and we have to prepare the industry for change as well. There is no doubt in my mind that we have to figure out how to work with the platforms, with Google, Facebook, Amazon, Twitter, and so on. Because that's where our audience is, that's where the public is. We have to go to where they are. No longer can we have the hubris, the ego, to think that we can force everyone to come to us to consume a product that we call news. We have to take journalism to the conversation when and where it occurs. We have to change the form of journalism. We also have to listen better and use these magnificent tools to listen to the public more and understand what they need to know, what they don't know, and so on. So I think we have no choice but to work with the platforms. Now in Europe, publishers use their political clout to go after first Google and now Facebook, and it brought them to the table. So now we have things like the Google Digital News Initiative in Europe, the Facebook Journalism Project around the world, Google News Lab. These are very good efforts from the platforms to try to understand the needs of journalism and to work together. So are they doing it perfectly? No. Do we need to press them still? Yes. But we also have to change ourselves. We have to learn new ways to do journalism. The thing that I want from the platforms more than anything else is to teach us how to do journalism natively on those platforms. Everything we do is still turning out articles and stories. We should also be turning out short videos and memes and conversations and other tools that would use Facebook, Twitter, and so on really well. So it's the beginning of a partnership. I think that there's much progress being made. There's much more work to do. But fighting with the platforms or trying to go off the platforms, I think is foolish because we cut off ourselves from the audience we need to serve. So I started blogging right after 9/11 in 2001, and very quickly blogs taught me a lesson about media, that properly conceived media is a conversation. That when I wrote something in my blog and people would write about it and they'd link to me and I'd link to them, I realized a conversation was occurring in different times in different places. And that fundamentally changed my view of journalism and my role in it. So I think blogs have taught us a big lesson. Blogs democratized media. It meant that anyone could talk to anyone on earth. Now the problem, of course, is that as soon as you open things up, good things will happen, and then spammers will come along, and then bad actors will come along. We've seen this in the creation of content. We're also seeing that now with advertising, with Russian bad actors using advertising on Facebook to influence elections. So we have to guard against those bad actors, and we also have to keep in mind all the good that happens. I fear right now we're entering into a moral panic about technology, where because there are a few bad actors doing bad things, some people are ready to just say the technology is bad or has done bad things to society. Not true. In the net, the technology has benefited us greatly. It has taught us in journalism new ways to interact with our public, new ways to listen, new ways to have conversations. And we have to remember those lessons and keep going with that. So I think blogs themselves, and I wish I still updated my blog every day. I don't. Twitter kind of ruined me. But between blogs and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, there's a lot still to learn about how we can interact with our public. When I come here to Latin America, it's very important for me to remember that I'm among journalists who risk their careers and their lives to bring journalism to the people. We in America are seeing this start to happen only recently. Of course, we always in America think that we're the center of the world. We're not. So I think there are a lot of lessons for us in America to learn from journalists in Latin America about how they've had to deal with populist and authoritarian and corrupt regimes. And we've seen efforts to influence media and control media around the world. We've been very lucky in the United States that we've had this freedom that now is being called into question. So I think we as journalists around the world have to share the lessons that we have, share the best practices we have, understand how to do things. Now, it's being said that and social media are being ruined by Russians. Well, yeah, to an extent, they're doing a lot of bad things, but I think if you look at your Facebook feed, you would find very few Russians in it. You'd find them mainly your friends, you'd find interesting things. All in all, it's still good. All in all, the technology is good. But it is critical that the platforms especially understand and become transparent about the manipulation that's done upon them. And the same for us in media. I think it's important for Facebook and Google to be very transparent about every political ad. I think it's also important for us in media to realize that sometimes we're being manipulated. We're being used by propagandists, by trolls, by the alt-right, and so on. So the circumstances of manipulation change. Manipulation has always been there. And I think that we have to learn a lot of lessons about how to deal with this. I see some progress. I see people gathering together. Organizations like First Draft with Claire Wardle do very good work in trying to verify news. The Trust Project is now trying to get journalistic organizations to meet higher standards of transparency. Google is now recognizing the authority, reliability, and quality of sources in its search. Facebook is trying to get rid of the bots and fake accounts. It's hard work, but there is work going on, and I do see progress. So at the News Integrity Initiative we started at CUNY, we received funds from Craig Newmark of Craigslist, Facebook, the Ford Foundation, and others. And we are independent of all those entities. And we got $14 million, and we're primarily giving grants to other organizations to work on projects, research, training, and events. And I think it's possible to not only work with upstarts, new entities in journalism, but also absolutely to work with the legacy companies. And I think that we can work together better. Indeed, one of the most hopeful things I see about journalism today is the collaboration that I see beginning. That in the Panama Papers and the Paradise Papers, in election land, in the United States election, in cross-check in the French election, you saw media companies joining together, realizing, yes, we're all smaller now. We all have new challenges now. We don't compete in quite the same way we did, because not every one of us can bring the whole world to every reader. So that means that I think that we have to cooperate and collaborate much better. So organizations like NII, I think will try to bring us together more often so that we can collaborate more effectively. I'm delighted to be at a One Infra event. Frankly, some years ago, I wasn't quite as welcome as I am now, because there was a conflict between the old print paywall kind of world and the new bloggy world. One Infra has done a very good job of embracing both these worlds together and trying to bring them together. And especially the digital events are bringing together the innovators in legacy media and the new world. So I've been to an event from Latam Digital in both Mexico City and now here in Buenos Aires. And it's a great gathering of people, and it's exciting to see how many people can come out for these events and learn from each other.